85% of youth in America that are in prison right now come from a fatherless home, and those same kids are 4.6 times more likely to commit suicide. And those same boys are 73 times more likely to be killed before they turn 18. My name is Stephen Lutzelter, and I am a domestic missionary for a nonprofit ministry called Outdoor Adventures. My job is to find fatherless youth inside of the inner cities in America and show them the perfect love of the Father, as well as to defend and protect them while ultimately trying to end the epidemic of fatherlessness in America through mentorship. Our strategy for doing this is a 3-step process. The first step being education. We go into inner cities and we educate the local church on the problem of the fatherless and just how big of a role this plays in the youth of America and how there are probably children in their youth group that are suffering from fatherlessness. By equipping the local churches and ministries with these tools and resources to go into the inner cities, we are 7 times more likely to see growth within that city than if we were to bring someone from the outside in to preach to that community. I'm currently in the process of doing this in St. Louis, Missouri, where I sold all of my things and moved full-time to Missouri to pursue the fatherless within the inner city of St. Louis. By equipping local churches and ministries within the surrounding area, we are now raising up indigenous leaders within the community to go into the inner city and begin pouring time, money, and resources into East St. Louis in order to fight fatherlessness. Through this, St. Louis, Missouri is now on the starting line of ending fatherlessness altogether. Other cities that are doing exactly what I'm doing here in St. Louis include Houston, Texas, Florence, Alabama, Dallas, Texas, Pagosa Springs, Colorado, and even New Orleans, Louisiana. And step 3 of this process is adoption. We go in and remind these churches and these men within these churches that what God says about adoption is true and is good, that we are adopted into sonship and that we are the sons and daughters of the Most High King. And we are encouraging these local churches and ministries to find fathers that are willing to unofficially adopt these fatherless youth and to treat them like children of their own, to show them the love that the Father has for them. And once we have a good footing in one area, that's when our summer programming comes in called Walkabout. Once a year, these groups come up to Pagosa Springs, Colorado, and we work through intense discipleship, mentoring, and ultimately growing the bond between these unofficial fathers and their sons so that they can go and learn how to be men of God and learn how to go out into their community and do the exact same thing that they were a part of before they left. While in Colorado, they spend 6 days at our base camp as well as 3 days out on the trail, really getting into discipleship and knowing what the heart of the Father means and what God says about them. Outdoor Adventures is in desperate need of monthly reoccurring donations so that the summer programming can exist. Now here's a breakdown of what your donation goes to. $1,000 is how much it takes to get one kid up from the inner city up to southern Colorado. This includes food, equipment, gear while we're backpacking, and just ultimately the week in Colorado as a whole. $200 a month funds a missionary so that we can do programming, we can have travel expenses covered, and we can have housing covered, and all of these things covered so that we can pour into these communities more stress-free and more intentionally. It also equips us with the education necessary to lead a city towards Christ. Now I am calling upon you. Are you ready to live out the Great Commission mentioned in James 1:27, to defend and protect the orphans and the fatherless, and to live out this commission that God has laid before us? To donate or to learn more about what Outdoor Adventures is doing in these cities, visit www.outdooradventures.org, or you can contact me directly with the email on the screen right here, or at my personal phone number 214-675-3412. Please prayerfully consider about supporting the cause to ending the fatherless epidemic. We need your help.